An abortion clinic was recently closed down in one of the most pro-abortion states in the nation. Paul Strand reports from Germantown, Maryland.
After 44 years of legalized abortion in America and some 60 million babies killed, you might not think it does a lot of good to fight against it. But there's been a major victory against one of the most heinous forms of abortion here in this office park in Germantown, Maryland. In 2010, Andrew Glenn found out Leroy Carhart had started to do late-term abortions out of a clinic just a mile from Glenn's home while Glenn's own wife was 20 weeks pregnant, and Glenn couldn't stand it.
And just coming to the realization that months past the point where my wife was pregnant with my child, these babies are being aborted here a mile from my house.
So he and others helped form the Maryland Coalition for Life to fight Carhart and the clinic.
We literally stood in front of the office development here for over 8,000 hours.
But in the beginning, the pro-life forces couldn't legally get close to the clinic because the large office complex was private property.
The police would come in and ticket them and cite them. They wouldn't allow them to be here.
But then this office opened up right across the street from the clinic, and the pro-lifers established their own support operation for pregnant women in it, and that changed the battle.
Once we opened up Germantown Pregnancy Choices, that then gave us the ability, because we're tenants in the development, to be here on the sidewalk in front of the abortion clinic.
Then on, the pro-lifers heard many testimonies like this.
I had an abortion scheduled for the next day, saw someone out there with a sign saying pray to end abortion, and I decided not to go through my abortion, and here's my 3-year-old son who's now alive, and we can't imagine life without.
Betsy Evans Pro-Life Medical Center took in many of the women steered away from Carhart, like a mother and her teen daughter.
The two of them had actually driven all night from a Midwestern state to come here to just see Carhart. They came to our clinic. We spent time with them, and the teenage girl, after seeing the image on the sonogram, decided she was going to parent. She said, I don't know what came over me.
Glenn recalls a couple headed for Carhart because they'd been told their baby couldn't survive after birth.
The parents asked for prayers, so some priests came and prayed over the baby. They went to Rockville Pregnancy Center, had an ultrasound, decided not to have the abortion. The baby was delivered, and there was nothing wrong with the baby at all. And now he's a 4-year-old, happy, rambunctious kid who their parents can't imagine life without him.
Despite these individual successes, closing Carhart's clinic down seemed impossible.
He's a very powerful guy with a lot of political support behind him, and it was discouraging.
But they kept up their protest. Then this year, a local pastor reached out to the landlord of the abortion clinic.
Sent him an email and said, hey, I know you're tired, we're tired, would you like to get out? We would like to, purchase the clinic to close you down.
The landlord agreed. Churches and pro-life groups quickly raised the money, and they sent Carhart and his team packing.
This just shows that when pro-lifers put their mind together, miracles can happen.
Evans says she and others are now
absolutely rejoicing. That was the most barbaric form of abortion offered up there, and just to have that out of our backyard is a relief.
Both Glenn and Evans encourage people to keep fighting because hearing the pro-life side changes the mind of as many as 80% of women heading for an abortion.
I see it every single solitary day. Women come in here, they need information, and they're not going to get that information in an abortion facility at all. And so should we give up the fight? Never.
Well, it may have taken 7 years, but Maryland pro-lifers point out a victory is a victory. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from what was Leroy Carhart's abortion practice, Germantown, Maryland.